1. Number's 1, Chris.
Okay.
And I say that for 2 reasons.
Is that Cam Newton's 2 jersey numbers? 1, 2 reasons?
Oh, now there's 3. Now there's 3. Jimmy Clausen. How'd that 2 work for you? It didn't. 1, that's the number of wins the Panthers are hoping to get after this coming weekend against Arizona. This against Atlanta. They're hoping to get it against Arizona, but hopefully we get win number 1 against Atlanta this weekend. But also, Chris, number 1 is the number of sacks the Panthers have this season.
Shout out to Princely Umami yelling.
Shout out to Princely.
Shout outs to him.
Let's get this sucker started.
Get dialed in, Panthers fans. Here comes an in-depth look at your team. Exclusive interviews. Locker room insight. Let's huddle up for Panthers Playbook. Here are your hosts, Dennis Cox and Chris Lea.
Welcome back to another episode of Panthers Playbook. That's Chris Lea, Dennis Cox here with you. And by the way, make sure you subscribe. We have a lot of people that are watching these videos, and we love each and every one of you. But go ahead and give us a follow. Subscribe, hit that like button, and leave your thoughts in the comment section. Are you scared? Are you scared about what could happen this weekend against Atlanta and what this direction might be for the Carolina Panthers season? But Chris, before we dive into that, we want to thank our sponsor, Wake Med Orthopedics. That's right, Wake Orthopedics. That's right. Panthers Playbook is brought to you by Wake Orthopedics, your winning team for orthopedic care. Proudly serving the Triangle with multiple locations. Find yours at wakeortho.com. Some big shout outs to them for sponsoring Panthers Playbook. And Chris, I think
my leg.
Yeah,
I'm going to go to Wake Med Orthopedics.
Let's go. But until we get there, Chris, we got to discuss this upcoming weekend against Atlanta, because I feel like this is, to me, the make or break weekend of the season for Carolina early on. That's how I really feel about this game, because 1 and 2, you can get some of the good vibes back. You can kind of erase some of the bad taste from the first 2 weeks of the season, especially with New England and Miami coming up. It's like, okay, a little positive momentum going into a not heavy portion of your schedule in terms of the competition that you're playing. But if you fought 0-3, you think the backlash has been bad for the first 2 weeks of the season? You fought 0-3, it might be donezo at that point.
Shout out to my fellow 5'9" guy out there, Steve Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to anger him at all, but Dennis, as my grandmother would say in Danville, Virginia, when there was a thunderstorm outside, my soul is weary.
Oh, I'm
a little scared, bro. There's a couple reasons. I watched Atlanta this past week. Looking pretty good, bro. They look pretty good. Michael Penix looks, they look pretty good. Here's the reason why I'm scared.
Kicked a lot of field goals, but you know what? Their defense is looking a lot improved.
They kicked a lot of field goals, but Bijan Robinson, we stopped James Conner for the most part. But I haven't seen enough from our run defense this year to say that, hey, we're better and we're going to stop other big-time running backs. Bijan Robinson is going to continue to be a problem, right?
Oh, yeah.
So how much of a problem will he be versus our run defense? Like, when you talk about, we had tackling issues in the first game, are we going to continue to have tackling issues? We don't need to, because if we have tackling issues, it's going to be a long day because of Bijan. Also, that Atlanta pass rush is much improved. And I'm afraid of the Carolina Reaper duo. 2 guys that grew up close to where the Carolina Panthers play football, who probably wanted to be a Carolina Panthers. I know for sure one did. For sure. He called his shot. We said his name, Jalen Walker and also James Pierce. Those guys are area guys. And I am just hoping, and they've played decently so far this year, I'm hoping that they don't come and have a field day versus our patchwork offensive line right now.
Yep.
Because there's a lot to be worried about right there in this game. Plus, it's a divisional game, and they're really going to want to get their rocks off. Now, I remember last year, Younghoe Koo, I guess he's not kicking anymore. Right?
No, I don't think
he's still on the team, but he's not kicking anymore. had something to say in a tunnel or something like keep stinking or something, or whatever he said after the game in Carolina. I know that other people probably have that same sentiment. I just hope that the Carolina Panthers defend home turf and just make it respectable. That's all we need. Just make it respectable at the end of the day.
So look at last year, that 1-2 punch of, you mentioned Bijan Robinson. Don't forget about Tyler Algier as well. Last year, Bijan, 15 carries, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tyler Algier, 18 carries, 105 for a touchdown. Like, those two combined on 33 carries had 200 yards and 3 touchdowns last year.
Was that at Carolina?
That was at Carolina.
That was Kirk Cousins.
6. It was Kirk Cousins.
And so then you didn't have Michael Penix, who has the ability to run too. So, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Just saying.
Woo.
Just saying. So it feels like, again, the Atlanta team that we saw that played recently is Sunday Night Football. Your soul is weary.
My soul.
Bless you, Chris. Lord bless you, Chris. But you look at Atlanta and their game that they had this past weekend. It was, granted, they were settling for a lot of field goals. They weren't finishing in the red zone, but they didn't give up anything. Like, that's the thing. Like, that defense was much improved, and they haven't had someone reach double-digit sacks since they went to the Super Bowl about a decade ago. That's the last time they had someone reach double-digit sacks. And you mentioned the two guys that are local in the state of North Carolina, from Jalen Walker from Salisbury, James Pierce from Charlotte, went to Chambers High School, won a state championship and all that there. I mean, these two guys they're first-round picks for a reason. Like, these guys, Atlanta went with the intention of, hey, you know what? We need to revamp our pass rush. We need to get guys in here. They're willing to give up a first-round pick next year to get James Pierce Jr. in this season. So as much as we've talked about Nick Scorton and Princely Umamielen and how the Carolina Panthers got 2 edge rushers on day 2 of the draft, rounds 2 and 3, Atlanta said, no. We're going to go first round twice to improve that position. I'm intrigued to see what this Carolina Panthers offense can do moving the ball. Like you said, Chris, 2 starters out, no Robert Hunt, no Austin Corbett, even though Austin Corbett's been struggling. K. Mays we saw do perfectly fine last season starting as a center, but Robert Hunt is to me is the big loss there up front. And with an offense that is struggling to find its identity and players that are struggling to find their footing in this offense, looking at Xavier Legette, I got major questions.
Here's another thing to think about. You remember how Bryce Young began his career in 2023? At Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
2 interceptions to Jesse Bates.
Like on the same throw, too.
Yeah, pretty much same play.
Same throw.
Pretty much same play. It's I know AJ Terrell, I guess he's dealing with a hamstring injury. Looks like he's possibly week to week, but I don't know if they've officially ruled him out. I haven't looked at the latest on that. But he may not be an issue, but Jesse Bates is still back there. And I know that guy is dangerous. So Bryce is going to have to be on time. He's going to have to be accurate. I know he's accurate. Also, the wide receivers have to run the right routes as well. And they're going to have to catch the ball because JT Sanders, you can't because Atlanta will come up with that ball. All right.
Yeah.
If it hits your hands, it better stay in your hands. If you do any of that thing, right, if it pops out of your hands, then that could easily become another turnover. It'll look bad for Bryce, but it really will be on the wide receiver or whoever is being thrown to. There's so much. I mean, it's both sides of the ball. It's also special teams. Like what we've said before, in my heart, the first 2 turnovers, like first turnover of the Jaguars game, the first turnover of the Cardinals game, to me, it felt like instantly this game is over because we've said it plenty of times. The team is not good enough to withstand that. You're going to have to go home, not turn the ball over at all during the game. Dave Canales what's your game plan to keep the ball more than 30 minutes, try to win that time of possession battle, and keep Bijan Robinson and Michael Penix and Kyle Pitts and Drake London and all these other guys off the field. It hurts saying all those names, but they're so good. And it's crazy because Atlanta hasn't figured it out yet. And once they figure it out, they're going to be amazing with it. But it's Panthers really have to play flawless football, like literally flawless football on Sunday.
They really do. So you talk about, about the defense of Atlanta, at least of what they've shown so far through 2 games. 7 sacks through 2 games combined. 14 hits on the quarterback so far. They've recovered a couple of fumbles. Recovered 3 fumbles as well. They haven't had any they have a couple of interceptions as well. Like, this team is actually getting their hands on the football. They're actually making these splash plays, as people like to say. I think there was a guy for The Athletic. I can't remember his name. I know Tim Donnelly and I talked about it on Wednesday on radio on 99.9 The Fan, about how there's a stat that they use, or term they use, was called havoc plays. It's for defense. So a havoc play is a tackle for a loss, a quarterback pressure, which is, quarterback hit, a quarterback hurry, a sack. Also things like, passes broken up, forced fumbles, those kinds of things, interceptions. So basically any sort of negative play that you can cause as a defender, right? Any sort of negative play. So the highest percentage of havoc plays in the NFL through the first 2 weeks of the season, guess who has the highest percentage?
Falcons.
Atlanta. You know who's next to last in havoc plays on defense? It's the Panthers. Panthers are about 22%. Atlanta was around 48%. So literally by every other snap, they're getting some sort of a pressure on a quarterback or a tackle for a loss or breaking up a pass, whatever it might be. I genuinely am scared to see what this Atlanta defense can do. And then if you're giving them, especially with the way Bryce has not been able to take care of the football, especially the way Bryce has not been able to take care of the football. 7 sacks already by Atlanta this season. If I know James Pierce on Wednesday didn't practice because of a groin injury that he's dealing with, but they got plenty of other dudes that seem to be getting to the quarterback as well.
Like you said, Chris,
they have to play perfect.
That a head coach has his side of the ball playing well.
Yeah.
What a concept for a second-year coach for one particular team in the NFC South, has his side of the ball playing amazing.
Okay, I'm happy you said this, Chris. I'm going to ask this question.
What do we do wrong, man? Like, what do we do wrong here in North Carolina, in South Carolina, I guess? But yeah,
I want to ask this question. Why does our offense stink right now? Mike, let's be honest. You and I talked about, I remember asking Dave Canales this in the offseason. I remember asking Chuba Hubbard about this in the offseason, about the continuity from one season to the next, where you have all 9 of your offensive linemen back from last year. You have Legette coming back, JT Sanders, Tommy Tremble. You had Jalen Coker coming back. I know he's hurt right now, but you're starting running back, your 2 quarterbacks from last year, and then you added pieces into the mix, right?
Added another 1,000-yard rusher.
Yeah, you have the 8th best, the number 8th in rushing last year in Chuba Hubbard, and number 12 in rushing in the NFL last year, Rico Dowdle. Like 8 and 12. You have that on your field. They have that on your team. And I remember Dave Canales, when I asked him about it, he said, now we can speak in sentences. We're not having to teach words. We can speak in sentences now with the language that we use. Where's the fluency?
Boy.
Where is it? That's the major question that I have. Again, offensive coach, who's the play caller, everything back, and you added more. And you actually have a legit number 1 receiver. Let's be honest. Like, Tepper McMillan looks like a legit 1. Why is it falling apart? Like, is it just Canales? Is it just Bryce? Is it a combination thereof?
It feels as if that there's something that's missing between Canales and Bryce. But then also something else I was wondering too. Nobody that played for the Carolina Panthers under Matt Rule disliked him personally. They all seemed to personally like get along with him. They just didn't take him serious as a coach.
Yeah.
And you could really see that. And, you know, things keep coming out. Fans didn't take him serious. We in the media didn't really take him serious. It's tough, you know, when you're in that position. I'm wondering how many people take Dave Canales seriously. You know, I've played sports. You played sports a little bit more extensively than what I did.
Mm-hmm.
But so I want to know what you think on this. I always liked the coach that you could really get along with, but always seemed to play for the coach harder that I was a little bit afraid of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You could go to that coach. You could talk to him. You could have a good relationship with that person. But I was afraid, if I was afraid to play bad or to wrestle badly in front of you, that coach seemed to motivate me just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I'm not, hey, that's me in high school. That's me in middle school. These guys are professionals. It's a different level. You know, this may not be an apples to apples comparison, but I do want to know what you feel on that, because I'm not sure if anybody walks into the room with Dave Canales and he comes in that they're like, oh man, I don't want to go over film today for what we did in the game. Or if it's just like, oh, that's Dave.
Yeah.
He's going to be cool. He's going to say it's a process.
So I played my freshman year in college. I played both football and lacrosse, and I played lacrosse for all 4 years. I remember my defensive coordinator, Coach Brooks, may he rest in peace, was that guy that he had autonomy over the defense, much like Avero does. And he had that, you could, like, if you needed to go to him on a personal level, he was there for you. But he had that fear, or if you didn't perform, you didn't want to know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to know that feeling. I saw someone else get it. I'm like, I don't want to go with that guy just went through.
Ron Rivera had that.
Ron, he did.
Steve Wilkes had that.
He did.
Like, those guys seem like they would give you their last.
Yeah.
It also seemed like they will rip you a new one if you deserved it.
They were feared, but they were respected because they were honest and they were fair.
Yes.
Because that's the thing about, like, again, I'll relate to my defensive coordinator, is that he'd rip you a new one, but if you made the play, he praised the hell out of you for it too.
Yes.
Like, that's the thing. It wasn't always just batter and beat you down. He was honest and fair, but he was feared and respected at the same time. And guys played their butts off for him. Absolutely played their butts off for him. We absolutely did. So I don't know if that's the case with Canales. I really don't know. But by all accounts, what we see publicly is who Canales is. So I'm going to take people's word for that when you have a lot of people saying it.
Seems like a great guy.
I mean, he really does.
I've interviewed him one-on-one. We've been around him at different events, and of course, press conferences and things like that.
And we
seems like a great guy.
Yeah.
Does the team respect him, and do they play hard for him? And that's what I want to figure out as time kind of goes along here.
I will say this though, against Arizona, they didn't back down. Like, they easily could have buckled 24 points down, and they didn't. So we have to acknowledge that. We do have to acknowledge that. So let's make sure we still say that as well. But I still wonder and question about, we hear about the standard of this team, right? The standard, their core fundamentals, their principles, and we got to play to that standard. I still don't know what that standard is.
Well,
Like,
going back to some of what you said earlier, I don't know what the identity is, and that was one of the problems under Rule. That was one of the problems under Reich. Like, what is this team? What are they going to be? What can we count on? And here's another thing. I don't want to belabor this too much, because also when you're down a lot in these different games, your game plan kind of changes a whole bunch.
Sure.
So I would love to see a close game and see how the Panthers deal with that. But we kind of glossed over it a little bit earlier. You have 2,000-yard rushers from 2024 on your roster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've used Rico Dowdle to the ability that he could possibly be used.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing to stress defenses with 2,000-yard rushers back there, because we know Atlanta is going to use the hell out of Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to use those guys, and you're going to feel those guys. Is that going to be the case for the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, again, falling behind early in games, like you said, because let's go back to the Arizona game. They were down 10-0, halfway through the first quarter? Now, I don't think that's, in my eyes, halfway through the first quarter, you're down 10-0 is a time where, like, all right, let's just abandon the run. I mean, I think because you're still, got over 45 minutes of game left.
Yeah.
But I think the situations that Carolina has put them in, unfortunately, is led to what you want your identity to be, is that's running the football and using play action and, getting Bryce on the move. You can't do that. You simply can't do that. And when you keep falling behind like they have been, and Bryce had to throw the ball 55 times last game. His yards per attempt is, he still threw for a career high 328 on 55 attempts. It's less than 6 yards per attempt.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a great average.
Yeah.
We really think about it. It's not a great average. I hope to see this team, like you said, come out and just, can we not turn the ball over in the first half? Can we just not see that?
At all.
At all. I mean, granted, at all, but at least in the
Don't
first
turn the ball
half,
over at all, because the team is not good enough
They're not.
to withstand that.
They're
Don't turn the ball over at all, including turnovers on downs.
Yeah. I can, yeah. I'm scared about Sunday, Chris. But you know what? I hope I'm wrong.
My soul is weary.
I hope I'm wrong.
My soul is weary.
Again, make sure you subscribe to Panthers Playbook. If you haven't already, again, make sure you subscribe and leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Again, Panthers Playbook brought to you by Wake Orthopedics, your winning team for orthopedic care. Proudly serving the Triangle with multiple locations. Find yours at wakeortho.com. We love you, our fans. You're not weak-ass fans.
You're strong fans.
Trust me.
We love you.
We really do. We haven't had a winning season since 2017. And you're here watching this, you ain't a weak-ass fan. I'm just gonna say that.
Listen, everybody's breaking apart right now, because even former players can't do nothing with these coaches. These players, these fans are weak. It's kind of like the news in America right now.
We'll see you all on Sunday. We're going to be at Bank of America. We'll see you on Sunday.